First thing we're going to do is just stand. Don't try to change your posture, just stand as you normally would. Record a couple seconds facing the camera. Turn to the side, doesn't matter which side. Record a couple seconds here. Next, from a standing position, feet shoulder width apart. Interlock your fingers behind your head. Keep your elbows out wide. What you're going to do is just raise one leg with a bent knee so that your quad is parallel to the ground, just like this. Hold that for a couple seconds, 5 seconds. Turn the leg to the ground. You're going to repeat with the other leg. Up, 5 seconds. You're going to do this 4 times total. You're going to do it once facing the camera, once with your back to the camera, once from the left side, and once from the right side. Next is the founder's pose. You're going to position the camera so that either side is facing the camera, doesn't matter which one. From a standing position with your feet shoulder width apart and squared off, so your toes are pointing straight ahead. Push your hips back and slide your hands down toward your kneecap, so it's a hip hinge. You're keeping your back flat. Draw your arms back so your hands end up next to your hips with your palms facing forward. Keep your toes pushed into the ground and keep your head still. Hold this for 5 seconds. Now, from this position, you're going to sweep your hands up and overhead so that your arms end up next to your ears, just like this. And you're going to hold this for 15 seconds while recording from the side. Next is an overhead squat. So what you're going to do is stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forward, feet squared off. And raise your arms overhead with your palms facing forward, just like this. Now, you're going to squat down as far as you can go until your thighs are parallel. If you can go farther than that, that's fine. If you can't go down that far, that's fine too. You want to keep your back straight. You want to keep your head neutral. Keep your arms overhead by your ears. You're going to stand back up. You don't have to hang out down there for as long as I just did. We're just going to go down and up. Repeat that 10 times. We're going to do this from the front. And then you're going to do it 10 times from the side. Arms up overhead, feet squared off. Down as far as you can go to parallel. Back up 10 times. Single leg squat. You're going to stand facing the camera. Feet shoulder width apart. Hands on your hips. Now you're going to start with one leg, doesn't matter which leg. Just raise it about 6 inches off the ground. Now you're going to squat down just as far as you can go. Just keep those legs neutral. You're going to do 5 reps. And then switch legs. Let the leg off the ground. 5 reps here. Same thing. Squat down, stand back up. Next is a goblet squat. Again, starting with feet shoulder width apart. You're holding a very light weight. This should not be super heavy at all. It should be very, very easy. I have a plate here. You can use a dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever, as long as it's light. And hold it just like this in the goblet position. Then you're just going to squat down again as far as you can go, just to parallel. And stand back up. Do this 10 times. Once from the front, and then 10 more times from the side. Again, same position. Squat down, keeping the back and head neutral. Come on back up 10 times. Next is deadlift. I'm going to show you this one from the side first, although you're also going to film from the front and from the side. So, feet shoulder width apart. You have a light weight, and this needs to be a distance off the ground where you can hinge your hips back and reach down to grab it while keeping your back flat. So if it's a dumbbell and you're reaching all the way to the floor and your back is rounding and bending like this, raise it up on something. It doesn't have to be super low to the ground. There's nothing. Mine is on nothing because the weight is so huge that it's high enough for me. So what you're going to do, hinge those hips back, keeping the back straight, grab the weight, use your glutes and hips to stand up. And lower back down to the ground. 10 times from the side, 10 times from the front. Same thing here. Front plank down on the ground. You're gonna do a plank on your elbows, with the camera filming from the side. So this is a low plank position on your forearms. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Feet are shoulder width apart. Shoulder blades should be back and down, and the heads, shoulders, hips, and knees should all be in a straight line as much as possible. Just like this. You're going to hold this position for 15 seconds while filming from the side. Next is bird dog. So we're going to go down to the ground on all fours. Camera is filming from the side. What you're going to do is come onto your hands and knees. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, and your hips are going to be over your knees. Keep your back flat for this. What you're going to do is brace your core, and without rocking as much as possible, bring your right hand to your left knee to touch together. Don't bring your knee too far forward. The hand should travel farther back to hit the knee. From here, you're going to extend that hand and leg straight out front and back, just like this, keeping the rest of your body as still as possible, keeping your back as flat as possible. Come back in, touch the hand to the knee. You're going to repeat this for 10 reps. Then you're going to switch sides. Opposite arm and leg, out front. 10 reps here. Now we're going to come into a bridge. The camera is filming from either side. You're going to lie on the ground on your back with your feet shoulder width apart and your knees bent so that your lower legs form a 90-degree angle with the ground. So I can kind of just touch my heels there. That's how I know that's correct. What you're going to do is use your glutes and your core to raise your hips up off the ground. You're forming a straight line all the way down. You're going to hold here for 5 seconds and lower back down. Repeat this for 10 reps.